In the realm where day never broke, the Twilight Sovereign Eris governed the last city that thrived under the eternal dusk. Shadows danced at her command, a testament to her bond with the cosmos, yet a heart-heavy burden she bore alone. Her eyes, mirrors to the twilight sky, reflected a looming decision that could unravel the threads of night and day. Whispers of a prophecy foretold by starlight had reached Eris's ears, a legacy awaiting in the shadows, an heir to challenge the dusk's dominion. The city's elders spoke of a celestial alignment that would either herald the dawn of a new age or cement the eternal night. Eris found herself at the crossroads of destiny, her every step watched by the stars and feared by the darkness. The sovereign's journey led her to the ancient observatory, a place where the veil between the cosmic and the earthly thinned. Here, among the ancient relics and starlit maps, Eris sought answers, hoping to glimpse the future through the stars' silent guidance. The observatory, a witness to eons, stood as a beacon for those who dared to question the night. As Eris traced the constellations, her fingers paused over one that seemed to pulse with an unfamiliar light. A hidden chamber unveiled itself, holding an artifact of untold power, the Aether Prism. Legend had it that the prism could either summon the dawn or deepen the night, a choice that now rested in Eris's hands. The night air, thick with anticipation, seemed to hold its breath as Eris held the prism aloft. The stars above whispered of change, of endings and beginnings. Eris closed her eyes, a silent prayer escaping her lips, a plea for the wisdom to choose the path that would shape the legacy of the Twilight Sovereign. The revelation of the Aether Prism's power sent ripples through the fabric of the Twilight realm. Eris, with the artifact in hand, stood at the precipice of change, her decision now echoing across the silent city. The citizens, shadows within the eternal dusk, watched with bated breath, their futures intertwined with the sovereign's choice. Among the whispering winds and the cryptic messages of the stars, a figure emerged from the obscurity. Silas, a scholar of the arcane and the last keeper of the celestial archives, approached Eris. His knowledge of the ancient texts and the lore of the stars could illuminate the path that lay shrouded in the twilight's embrace. The prism reveals the heart's true desire, yet its power is not without peril, Silas warned, his voice a solemn echo in the vast observatory. The prophecy speaks of a twilight heir, one who can wield the dawn's light or deepen the darkness. Your legacy, Sovereign Eris, may very well shape the destiny of all. Under the canopy of endless night, Eris and Silas convened with the Council of Shadows, a secretive assembly of the city's most influential figures. The council chambers, a Gothic cathedral of ancient stone, bore witness to the heated debates and clandestine pacts that would determine the realm's fate. As the celestial alignment drew near, the urgency of their decision became palpable. Eris, standing before the council, felt the weight of her ancestors' legacy and the expectation of her people. The Aether Prism, now pulsing with a light unseen, awaited her command, a beacon in the darkness, signaling the dawn of a new era or the perpetuation of the Twilight Dominion. The council's deliberations echoed into the night, their decisions shrouded in secrecy, much like the twilight that enveloped the city. Eris, with the Aether Prism's fate now in her hands, sought solitude atop the city's ancient walls. Here, the horizon whispered of worlds beyond, a canvas for her impending choice. Silas found her as the first star of the evening pierced the perpetual dusk. The prism's power is bound to the heart of its wielder, he said, his voice carrying the weight of unspoken fears. Its choice, once made, cannot be undone. Eris nodded, her resolve hardening like the stars that began to speckle the twilight sky. Below, the city stirred, unaware of the monumental choice that loomed over them. The sovereign's legacy was not just her own, but intertwined with the destiny of every soul within the city's walls. The prism, pulsing gently in her grasp, seemed to echo the heartbeat of the realm itself. A sudden, unnatural chill swept through the city, as if the twilight itself inhaled, bracing for the sovereign's decision. From the depths of the shadows, creatures of the night whispered, their voices a blend of curiosity and malice. The balance of power was about to shift, and all of creation held its breath. Eris raised the prism, her silhouette a stark contrast against the darkening sky. "Let the stars guide my hand," she whispered, the prism glowing brighter with her conviction. In that moment, the boundary between night and day, shadow and light, seemed to blur, heralding the dawn of a new era, or the deepening of the twilight's reign. The light from the Aether Prism shattered the twilight's calm, casting an otherworldly glow across the city. As the light touched the ancient stones, whispers of the past echoed through the streets, telling tales of a time when day and night danced in harmony. Eris, her heart a tempest of hope and fear, watched as her realm transformed under the prism's influence. The citizens, once mere silhouettes in the perpetual dusk, emerged as if from a dream, their faces awash with wonder and apprehension. Among them, a child, eyes wide with curiosity, reached out towards the light, her laughter a melody long forgotten in the twilight city. This moment of innocence and joy stirred something deep within Eris, a reminder of what was at stake. Yet, not all welcomed the change. Shadows recoiled at the prism's radiance, retreating into the deeper darkness, murmuring threats of retribution. The creatures of the night, whose whispers had once filled Eris's heart with dread, now watched from the shadows, their eyes gleaming with malice. The balance of power was shifting, and with it, the sovereignty of the night. Silas stood by Eris, his gaze fixed on the horizon. The dawn of a new era beckons, but so too does the twilight of our old ways, he murmured. The prism has awakened the heart of the city, but it also calls to those who dwell in darkness. We must be prepared for what comes next. As the night deepened, a convocation of the city's guardians assembled, their resolve steeling against the unknown. Eris addressed them, her voice carrying the strength of her will. This light is but the herald of change. We stand on the threshold of a new age, one forged in the balance between light and shadow. Together we will protect this legacy, for it is the dawn of our hope and the twilight of our fears. As dawn's first light threatened to pierce the eternal twilight, the city braced for the prism's final act. Eris, standing at the heart of the realm she swore to protect, felt the weight of centuries converge upon this singular moment. The Aether Prism, now a beacon of swirling cosmos, awaited her command. The creatures of shadow, amassed beyond the city's ancient walls, surged forward as if to swallow the light whole. But the guardians, led by Eris and Silas, stood firm, their resolve a bastion against the encroaching darkness. The air crackled with the power of ancient magic, the final confrontation between day and night looming imminent. "This is the moment of rebirth," Eris proclaimed, her voice cutting through the darkness. With a decisive motion, she released the prism's light, a radiant torrent that washed over the city, the shadows and the horizon beyond. The darkness recoiled, its dominion challenged by a force it had never anticipated. The battle that ensued was a spectacle of light and shadow, a tumultuous dance that spanned the breadth of the city. As the prism's light intertwined with the darkness, a new dawn emerged, not of day nor of night, but of an equilibrium long lost to the ages. When the tumult subsided, the city stood transformed. The twilight realm, once a domain of perpetual dusk, now basked in a soft eternal dawn. Eris, amidst the ruins and the rebirth, gazed upon her legacy, a world where light and shadow coexisted in harmony. The Twilight Sovereign's choice had forged a new destiny, not just for herself, but for all who dwelled within the Twilight's embrace.